What's up, guys? So this week, a Pokemon collector flopped their massive schlong onto the table for all to see. And by table, I'm talking about eBay, and schlong being 127,000 USD. Smackaroos, big ones, dead presidents. That's a lot of money. I sort of wonder if when the Pokemon Company printed this foil cover piece of paper, that they'd realize that someone would trade it in for the cost of a 4-story home in Oklahoma. I mean, with that money, you could buy a trampoline and then a 4-story home in Oklahoma. It's honestly crazy. The bid was at $80K, and then one person with their bid raised it all the way up to 128.9, nearly 50 grand. And unfortunately, eBay doesn't disclose who the person is, so I can only guess on what kind of person is dropping this kind of money, and also which mailbox I'll be raiding in 3 to 5 business days. I don't know if I've actually even introduced the card yet. So this is the year 2000 Neogenesis, Lugia Holo, and PSA Gem Mint 10. That's complete mint perfection. This is already a really beloved rare card, but the thing about this set, the Neogenesis set, is that a lot of them come out, that set is more prone to have factory defects, print lines specifically, than other sets. So most of the cards, so you can get a card, for those of you who don't know, if you get a card out of the pack and send it straight to be graded, just because you haven't touched it, done anything with it, it still might not be a 10 perfect mint, because sometimes the factory doesn't even do a good enough job making it mint enough, you know? So that's the case with this card. It's really hard to grade at a 10. The website that sold this card states that only 41 of this card in a mint 10 exists in the world, which is like pretty rare for Pokemon standards. That combined with the fact that we're in the middle of a large Pokemon boom, a bubble as some are referring to it, like all the cards are fetching huge prices right now. Those two things combined make this one of the largest Pokemon sales ever. Some cards that have beaten it out include the Logan Paul Charizard that he purchased for $150,000. I think that was last month. And then more famously, Pokemon Illustrator, which is the most valuable card to be sold at $200K according to Polygon. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Someone shelled out that money for that card. And I'm not gonna say it's not worth it. Who are we kidding ourselves? It's more than just printed cardboard at this point. It's becoming a big piece of history. Pokemon is very culturally significant, and only 41 exist in the world. That's an artifact, basically. So it doesn't surprise me. I imagine like it must be some kind of celebrity around my age, like a Post Malone or something like that, where they're kind of like as nostalgic for some of these cards as someone like me would be, but money just isn't an object for them. Logan Paul's a good example of that. Pokemon selling, and particularly at the top level like this, at the really high prices, actually fascinates me, because like these are toys that so many of us had. We would just open it flippantly, and then we would just like throw it in the washing machine, you know, feed it to our dogs, use it as throwing stars, cutting boards, you know, whatever. Most people didn't take care of their cards very well, which honestly, it's set up for the perfect scenario for these cards to go for so much, because most of us didn't treat our cards very well. There was a point in time where some child owned this card that sold for $129,000, and they played with it. They roughed it up and scratched it all up, and now it's worth, you know, jack diddly. The rarest card I've ever owned, personally, was also a Lugia card. One of my favorite cards ever printed, the Lugia EX from 2005. This card, right now, will sell for like 400 bucks, but if you get it graded, it goes for thousands. Like, I've seen the Gem Mint 10 go for like 10 grand. This is a card I owned, and do you know why I don't own it currently? Because I traded it to a friend of mine for a card that's currently worth 15 bucks. I still own the card. See, you gotta realize at the time, I didn't have the internet. I couldn't look up I didn't really have internet much. I had a slide phone, you know, so I couldn't see what the value of this card was, and it was a new card. I'd never seen it before. It turned out to be a card that was in the promo boxes of every box, and like, there was millions of them made, but I didn't know. I was like, I've never seen this card. It must be super rare. And I knew my card was worth a lot at the time. It was worth like 112 bucks at the time. So I would have kept really good care of it and not touched it. So I could have had a multi-$1,000 card, but that's the thing. You know, kids are stupid and we lose these things. We lose them and then they get trashed. So now people sell them for $129,000. It's crazy. I've been having a heyday watching all the big YouTubers like open up the boxes and get all these cool rare cards, kind of living vicariously because I'll never have that kind of money just to drop thousands of dollars on a card no matter how much I want it. It's a good time. Maybe at some point I can show you some of my Pokemon cards. Actually, I'll show you one of the cards that I got around the same time as the Lugia, and a card that I liked about the same amount that'll give you a sense of my condition. This is from a set that was around the same time period. It's one of the EX cards. I don't know how well it'll translate. So that's what it's like. The front is really good. The front's really good condition. You'll notice the back. Hold on, you can see the back is less so. There's some scratches, some whitening on the sides. It doesn't really come on camera. The point is that this was a card that I liked a lot, but now it's worth like $30. But that other card I knew was really good, so I could have probably kept it in better condition. I probably would have had a PSA 9. I'm sort of rambling at this point. The point is that this card, this Lugia card, sold for a ton of money. It's really cool to me. It's really interesting to me. I sort of wonder how long it's gonna last. You know, when's the Beanie Baby bubble? You know, when's the bubble gonna pop and all the Pokemon are becoming worthless? Because people are buying booster box and opening new ones, and every time they open a new one, they're very careful with it and they get it graded immediately. So the supply is increasing. So this probably won't last. We'll see though. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys. Have a good one.